Congratulations to Boston. The Celtics advancing to the NBA Finals after 7 games against the Heat. Boston was able to win 3 of their 4 games on the road to clinch this series. Not bad, huh? Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive were the Celtics against the Heat?
I gave them an 8.5, 9, Skip, for the simple fact is that you win 3 games on the higher seed's home court. And then you go back for Game 7 when we know 75, almost 80% of the Game 7, the home team normally win. And you did that after you gagged Game 6. I think they deserve a lot of credit for that, Skip, because the Miami Heat were the number 1 seed. But I don't want to make any excuses for Miami with Tyler Hero being injured because Marcus Smart didn't miss 2 games. Robert Williams played a game, missed a game. He was in and out of the lineup, and Al Horford missed the first game of the series. So I think the injury situation might have weighed out. They might have weighed a little more heavily in the Celtics' favor. But to go on the road and win a Game 7 in the opposing, because they say that's the most important, 2 greatest words in sports, Game 7. And the Boston Celtics went into the Miami Heat's building in a Game 7, and they won. And they won 3 of the 4 games on the road. Skip, that's unheard of. I don't know. I mean, I probably should have looked it up, but I can't remember a time that a team won 3 of the 4 games in the opposing team's building, and they were the higher seed. So give the Celtics credit. I gave them I'm going to get 7.5. I'm going to give them an 8. Because that was
I thought you were going for 9.
No, I'm gonna give them an 8 because I thought that Jimmy Butler showed up for the 7 games. Bam showed up for 2 of the 7 games. I'm not so sure anybody else really showed up, Skip, along for the party. I give Kyle Lowry, he did have a double-double in Game 6, played really well yesterday. But outside of Jimmy, they didn't really get consistent play from anybody. So if they've got a little bit more consistent play from a couple other guys and the Celtics were still able to win, I probably would have went 9, maybe even 10. But I was impressed that they won Game 7 in Miami's building. They won 3 of the 4 games in Miami's building. They'd be delighted for doing that.
Okay. Against the Heat, I will give the Celtics an impressive level of a 4.
Man, get out of here, 4!
For the whole playoff run, I'll give it a 3 because I hark back to the Nets were absolutely psychologically wrecked by the fact that Kyrie would not get vaccinated.
Kyrie was there. No, Skip, come on. They had waived the mandate that Kyrie no longer had to be vaccinated. So for the last 2 months, Kyrie
got right. And Ben Simmons obviously never got right because he never stepped on a court. We only saw him sitting dressed magnificently on the bench, right?
Man.
Okay, so it became Kevin Durant or bust, and he busted because Ime was smart enough to say, you know what? We're going to take that man out of the game. We're going to send 3 at him every time. We'll dare Kyrie to beat us.
I don't know if they sent 3 at him every time. I thought Jayson Tatum did an unbelievable job. Remember how Jayson Tatum was blocking that jump? That unblockable shot that you come out there, he's 7 foot tall. He's shooting the ball from the Empire State Building.
So he got his legs chopped out from underneath.
Yeah, that's what they did. They took him out.
And then we go on to Giannis, and Ime is smart enough to say they don't have their closer. They don't have their mid-range shooter. They don't have one of the best in the business at doing that. They don't have Chris Middleton. So if we can just take Giannis out of the game, and they still kept gagging gagged 2 games.
They did.
And then here we come to the Heat. They gagged Game 3 at home. They gagged Game 6 at home. They gagged Game 7 at Miami. I don't care what you say. When you got a 17-point lead in the second quarter, and then, wait a second, you're up 13 with 3:35 left, and you allow Jimmy Butler a wide-open 3 to take the lead with 16 seconds left? That's a gag job.
They knew he was going to miss it.
Gag job.
But hold on. I'm just trying to figure out how you can say this run. Now, it's been reported, I don't know how true it is, that KD and Kyrie are the 2 most skilled offensive players to team up in their prime in NBA history. They're the only team that got swept thus far in the playoffs. No other team got swept. That's what they did. Giannis, 2-time league MVP, finals MVP. He's the only player that's been named to the All-NBA team 4 times unanimously.
Build a wall. No closer.
And he still gave you 35. He still gave you 34, 15, and something. And then you come to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Playoff, Jimmy, whatever you want to call him, Jimmy Superstar, Jimmy Neutron. They did that. Skip, get him 2 Game 7s. They did that. Udoka's the only guy to ever win as a rookie coach, win 2 Game 7s. He did that. This is an impressive run. After you've seen the gauntlet that they've gone through to get here. The Miami Heat was just in the finals just 2 years ago. That's worth something, ain't it?
It was worth a little bit if you had the guy who got them to the finals 2 years ago, Tyler Hero.
Oh,
who
now
was
you're talking about
simply
Tyler
the
Hero.
6th man of the year. Averaged 21 a game on 40% three-point shooting, and he was nowhere to be found in any of these games because he wasn't much to begin with, and then he was gone for the last 3, tried to play Game 7, and was obviously
They took advantage of it because he don't play defense as it is. That's why they didn't play Duncan Robinson. Max Strus can only play.
What did I keep hearing? Miami needs a second star. Miami has nobody else who can score. That guy could score, which is why the Miami Heat had the best record in the East. Not the Celtics,
No.
certainly not the Nets.
But you see,
the Heat did.
But what happens when you get in a series and you can't go nowhere? You can't go from Orlando to Atlanta to Brooklyn to New York. You got to stay right here and fight. And they say, you know what? Y'all not what you think you are. Skip, look, this works really well. But at some point in time, you got to have a second option because a team that has a second option more times than not.
He was hurt. All he did was win the award for the best bench player in the whole league. And last night, he looks like he should have been 12th man of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
But guess what? You didn't say nothing about Marcus Smart missing those games. What about Al Horford? Robert Williams looked like a shell of himself. Now, you know that.
You didn't miss your 2 scores, your 2 young stud
Them
scores.
big guns.
They were fine.
JT and
right?
JB.
Were they healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there.
Was Jimmy Butler healthy? You said Jimmy.
I don't know.
You told me
because he went about as far south as you can go.
I can't tell. So games 1 and 2, he was healthy. Games 3, 4, 5, he was hurt. Game 6 and 7, he's healthy.
Explain that. We're going to hit this head on in just a moment.
He must have went and saw Miss Rudolph.
Like, what happened? Where did he go? What
JT and JB happened. Yeah, locked him.
Was he pouting? Maybe.
About what?
I don't know.
The man just got
always pouting about something. Well, his whole career he's been pouting. See Minnesota, see Chicago, see Philadelphia. Pout, 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 pout. Always clash, 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 right?
Well, we'll let him and the Heat work that out. We got things to do right now.
You got things to do, but you got lucky.
There ain't no luck.
Yeah.
No, the Skip, when you run the gauntlet that we ran, when you do what the Celtics did, that ain't no luck. You swept Kevin Durant and Kyrie. You swept them. You beat Giannis in a Game 7. You beat the Heat on their home court in the Game 7. Ain't no luck involved. You can't get lucky 20-plus games.
How do you lose 2 huge games at home? Is it because you can't live up to your fans' expectations?
Want to make it more interesting. It would have been nothing if we beat you in Game 6. We went to your house. Skip, if I beat somebody in my backyard, that ain't doing nothing. I know where all the stuff at. But if I come to your house, kicking your door.
It looked to me like those kids were much more comfortable away from home than at home where the expectations are through the roof.
Come to your house. Beat you down, beat him down too.
Yeah, when we shoot 6 of 30 or miss 38
were they shooting up? Were they in walkthroughs? Well, we out there D'ing them up.
Boy, I saw a lot of wide open misses, man.
Oh, you didn't say that the other night when was missing all those shots, when the Celtics were missing all those wide open threes, and Marcus Smart, you talking about they gagged. Marcus Smart was gagging right before your eyes.
That's what I said. I don't love this team, but here we go. Way to go.
Guess what? You're going to hate them all the way to the NBA Finals.
Really?
And when they win it, then what you going to say?
When they win it over a team that's been there and done this like 6 of the last 8 years.
But you've been hating on Steph.
Yeah, but
you say you better come
I got Clay. That's all I care about is Clay. In the end, I got Game 6 Clay and Game 7 Clay. Thank you.
So what about
next?
So Steph going to bring it home for the first 5, huh?
Yep. He's great for 5 games. You really trust him.
Draymond, you hear that?
Well, guys, the Chase One Center is going to be a very different test for this Celtics squad than even the pressure of South Beach. We'll see if they can repeat their road success.
JT starts tugging on that
Meanwhile, Skip, we got to ask you about your guy, Jimmy Buckets. What happened to him in the middle of the Eastern Conference Finals? Stick around. That's next on Undisputed.